Hi, I'm Jeff Cavins, and welcome to my website, and welcome to my office. I hope to come to you regularly with these video clips to talk about the beauty of the Catholic Church with a special emphasis on reading and studying the Bible. Today I'd like to talk to you about how to read the Bible using what the Church calls the canonical approach, or studying the Bible as a whole and discovering the story within the Bible. As I've traveled this country and around the world and received email from many of you, I've come to the conclusion that the number one question out there when it comes to Scripture is not do people want to read it, but how do we read it? How do we read the Bible? And so many people have been excited, about reading the Bible in a year. There's been many of these programs called Read Through the Bible in a Year. So we get all excited and we go out and we buy a brand new Bible, and then we have to wait till January 1st, and when January 1st rolls around, we start to read. And we read Genesis, and then we read on into Exodus, but then suddenly, right around March, we quit. Why? Because we're in Leviticus, and we don't know where we're at anymore. We've lost the story, and we don't know how it applies to our own lives, and in a word, we find it boring. Well, what if I could show you a way to read the Bible by skipping over Leviticus and coming back to it later? I think you might be interested in it. Now, the approach that I'm suggesting here is an approach that goes way back in our church's tradition. St. Augustine used this approach, and he wanted to discover all of the great highlights of salvation history and pass them on to his students. Later, Hugh of St. Victor, among others, employed this method. As I mentioned, it's called the canonical approach, and you can read about it in the 1993 Pontifical Biblical Commission's document on the interpretation of the Bible in the Church. Now, in this method, what we do is we take the Old and New Testament, and then we lay out all 73 books in the Bible. And then we have to learn, what are the books that keep the story moving? Because that's the way you're used to reading a book, is you open it up, like Gone with the Wind, for example. You open it up and you begin to read page 1, page 2, page 3, and you get the plot. You're introduced to the characters. There's a crisis, and there's a solving of the crisis in the book. And either you put it down saying, that was a great book, it wasn't such a great book. Well, the only way that we're going to come to the conclusion that this Bible is a great book, the only way we're going to discover that is if we can actually read the story. So I want to help you do that. So what we need to do is we need to discover the 14 books. And I'm going to give those to you, so you might want to grab a piece of paper and a pen to write them down. I'll give you the 14 books that you need to read out of the 73. As I mentioned, we have 73 books in the Bible. We want to pull out the 14 that are narrative in style. In other words, they keep the story moving along. Which are the 14? Well, I'll give them to you. We have Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, then we move on to Joshua, Judges, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, Ezra, Nehemiah, 1st Maccabees, Luke, and Acts. Now, if you read those 14 books in that order, you're going to pretty much get the narrative scope. You're going to get the big picture of salvation history. But still, you have another problem on your hands, and that is, what are you going to do with the other 59 books, like the poetry books and the wisdom books and the prophetic books? Where are you going to put them? Well, I have a tool for you that is going to take a little bit more studying than we can provide on this little video clip, but at least I want to introduce it to you. It's called the Bible Timeline Chart. This is part of the Great Adventure, a journey through the Bible that I teach in the Twin Cities of St. Paul and Minneapolis, as well as around the country on weekends. And we have it on also a DVD series for churches to participate in. In fact, we have over 600 parishes now around the country that are using the Great Adventure series to study the Bible. And in the Twin Cities of St. Paul and Minneapolis, I have over 4,100 students who are going through the Bible and studying with us right now. Well, on this chart, let me show you this. We have the whole Bible divided up into 12 periods, front and back, 12 periods, and then we take you through the 14 books necessary to go through those 12 periods, and we show you exactly where all 59 of the other books fit in to the context of those 14 books. So that's a little approach to reading the Bible that will set you on the road to understanding it as a story. And people are just they're eating this up. They can't get enough of the Bible. God is speaking to people in such an intimate way. He writes as a father writing a love letter to his children, and that love letter is really meant to be understood. And I hope that this methodology, which is thoroughly Catholic, would help you. In fact, just recently we received the imprimatur of the Catholic Church on the Great Adventure, so we're very, very proud of that. Now, if you would like to get more information on the Bible Timeline chart, the DVDs, maybe perhaps bringing myself or Dr. Tim Gray to your parish to put on a weekend seminar of walking through the Bible, just go to greatadventureonline.com. That's greatadventureonline.com, and they have all of the information that you would need to get a hold of the chart as well as the materials. I really look forward to spending some time with you on the web here from time to time, talking about issues facing us as Catholics and maybe some apologetics. I'd love to hear back from you, and so leave a comment just below the video blog here, and I'd love to hear from you. So God bless you, and you have a great day.